Yesterday, I made a video about the death of expertise, which is a topic that's coming up a lot in the fashion industry recently. I think we all recognize how wonderful social media can be when it comes to marketing, especially for brands, and that it can be a way for people who aren't traditionally involved in an industry to find their way in through untraditional means. However, it's also become a place where people share a lot of misinformation. And so somebody asked me for a list of fashion history books and art history books yesterday. So I'm going to focus on some fashion recommendations for people who are trying to bridge the gap in their knowledge. We're going to start with one that I love, and it was actually kind of the topic of my video yesterday, Siobhan Trench's Andre Leon Talley, a memoir. This is a fantastic book about the legendary figure in fashion, Andre Leon Talley. Another one when it comes to people in the fashion industry is Gods and Kings, The Rise and Fall of Alexander McQueen and John Galliano. Should be on everyone's list. The next one that I feel is very pertinent to our times is The End of Fashion, How Marketing Changed the Clothing Business Forever. The title for this one is pretty self-explanatory, so I won't get into it more. So this is one that's on my list. It came up for me when I was on Reddit a little while ago, and it's called Fashion Theory: A Reader. This is a compilation of essays and extracts that all kind of deal with different theoretical ways that people have approached the beauty of fashion. Again, not Reddit. Really looking forward to it though. Next one is Deluxe: How Luxury Lost Its Luster. To sum it up really succinctly, it's a little bit about the change in the meaning of luxury then and now, and it's the second book on the list by Dana Thomas. One I would recommend is Dress Code: Unlocking Fashion from the New Look to Millennial Pink. This is kind of a look into why people wear what they wear and why it's important, and kind of like the meaning behind why certain looks are popular, why certain people in certain positions wear what they do, what style communicates, things like that. Next one I would mention is The Battle of Versailles, the night American fashion stumbled into the spotlight and made history. I'm not going to spoil this one, but read it because it's about a really cool event in fashion history that really transformed people's way of looking at American fashion in comparison to French fashion and some of the major French houses. This is my book club book at the moment. This is Make It Ours: Crashing the Gates of Fashion with Virgil Abloh. If you love Virgil Abloh or you were really interested in kind of like the culture around him, this is a really great read. Another book I'm reading right now that isn't exactly a fashion book, but I think it's a really great read for people who are interested in fashion and also magazines and the history of magazine writing, is When the Going Was Good. This is really the story of Graydon Carter. He is an incredible journalist. He was editor of Vanity Fair for a while. He ran Spy. Really great storyteller. I find myself laughing out loud all the time while I'm reading this book, so I cannot recommend it enough if you're interested in like the history of magazines in particular. The other thing that I will recommend is grabbing an exhibition catalog when you see a fashion exhibition. I know that they're expensive, and I'm not saying you need to read them cover to cover, but a lot of these will dive into specialized topics or just do a deep dive into an individual person. And I find that if there's something that piques your interest in an exhibition, one of the best ways you're going to be able to dig into it is by just grabbing the catalog. Finally, I'm just going to drop my regular podcasts. Business of Fashion, a great one. Listen to Vogue's The Run Through religiously. I like to listen to Going Rogue. There are a lot of interesting people that get interviewed on that podcast. And lastly, the podcast Dressed. This is one I haven't listened to in a while, actually, but they do really great deep dives into aspects of fashion history. Okay, bye.